So I made a recording for you. So you're going to watch this recording, and then at 10 o'clock, you're going to come on over to ELA, and Mrs. Lansford will definitely be back by then. Okay? All right. So today is Monday, October 3rd, 2022. And what I want you guys to remember today is be brave, be bold, be awesome. Never give up. Be brave. Be bold. Be awesome. Classroom expectations, which I guess we could skip, except I want you to remember that we are going to unleash your potential. Potential is something that's inside that isn't activated yet. We're going to activate your potential because all of you have it. Ready, set, grow. Today we're going to use place value and arrays so that I can practice what I know about place value and create arrays as different multiplication strategies. I'll know it if I can solve multiplication strategies using place values and arrays. Are you ready to learn? Let me hear it. Ooh, I heard that clear at the doctor's office. Here we go. We're going to be talking about multiplying for the next couple of weeks. Yes, we've already talked about it a little bit. When you multiply, it's just repeated addition. Nothing to be afraid of. We're going to work on our multiplication facts, and you're going to know them really well. So when we add these boxes, we're adding 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 for a total of 15. This is called an array, and we're going to be practicing with arrays today. Equal groups. When you multiply, you always have equal groups. There's always the same amount of an object in each group, or you can't multiply it. The groups have to be equal. Here are 2 groups of 6 birds each. If there were 5 birds in one of the groups, we couldn't multiply them because the groups have to be equal. Factor. The 2 numbers that you're multiplying together are the factors. In this equation, the 5 and the 4 are factors. 5 times 4. So there's going to be 5 groups with 4 in each group. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups with 4 in each group. The product. When you're multiplying, the answer is called the product. Here is 2 times 6. The product of 2 times 6 is 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Before we start working with arrays, we're going to review what we learned about multiplying by tens, hundreds, and thousands. When you multiply by tens, hundreds, and thousands, you find the basic fact, count the zeros at the end of your factors, and attach that number of zeros to the end of your basic product. So we're going to look at, let me get rid of these zeros for a minute. Just a minute though. We're going to add them back in. There's 1, 2, 3 zeros. We're going to multiply 32 times 1. Well, 32 times 1 is 32. And how many zeros are we going to add? 1, 2, 3. So we're going to have 32 and 3 zeros. Do you see that answer choice? 32,000? If you said it was A, you are absolutely correct. Good job. Oh, this looks tricky. The triangle times 10 is going to equal the circle. So we know we're going to be looking for a product, something times 1. So the number on the left under the triangle times 1 with 1 0. Okay, let's take a look. 44 times 1 is going to be 44. If we add a 0 to it, it's going to be 440. Uh-oh. Look at this. They say 54. So we know it can't be A. Let's see what we've got in B. We have 44. Times 10. So 44 times 10 is again going to be 440. Oh, that's what this one says right there. But on these in and out charts, the whole thing has to be correct or none of it is right. So let's look at the next part. 66 times 10 is 660. Okay. It's 66 and then add in that other 0. You got it. 99 times 10 is going to be 99 because 1 times anything is that same number. And then add a 0. Does that say 990? Match, match, match. One more to look at. 150 times 10. 150 times 10. 150 times 1 is going to be 150 because anything times 1 is the other number. And now we're going to add, since we're doing times 10, how many zeros does 10 have? 1. So it's good. Oh, look, they all 4 matched. This is called an in and out chart. When they all 4 match and they're all 4 correct, that's going to be the correct number. If you said B, you were absolutely correct.
Oh, but Mrs. Lansford, you don't always write the correct answer till you've read them all.
Okay, fine. 44 times 10 is going to be 44 plus 1 0. This one has 2 zeros. They all have an extra 0, so it can't be that one. 44 times 10 is going to be 440. Oh, that doesn't say 440. Ha! Again, it's going to be B. But you were right, little voice. Never mark an answer correct until you've looked at all the answers. Okay, today we're going to learn about arrays. An array is a multiplication strategy where you take any item, they're using boxes here, and you divide them into columns and rows. Rows go across, columns go up and down. So if the equation is 6 times 7, usually you do the rows first. So you put 6, the first number. You could do it either way, but I usually put the rows first. So I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes, and then times 7. I already colored in 1. Here's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6 rows, 7 columns. 6 rows of 7. Now, there's several ways you can do this. You can either count all the boxes, that's one way, or you could think 6 times 7, what would that be? And you can either look at a multiplication chart, or if you know your 6's, or if you know your 7's, you can figure it out. Let's take a look. Here is an array. The rows, this is a row. They go across. This is a column. They go down. You can always use arrays to help you multiply. They just sort of help you organize so you can see what you're doing a little better. An array has equal rows with an equal number in each row. It is a way to help you visualize the multiplication problem so you can in your mind get a picture of it. So, if the multiplication problem, let's look at this. What's the multiplication problem going to be? How many rows do we have? We have 4 rows times how many columns? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the multiplication problem is going to be 4 times 5. Now you may already know. If you know your 5's, you may just like, oh, I got it. I know that answer. It's 20. So you could count the circles, and you'd count 20 circles. I guess I can prove that to you. Just a minute. How do I clear this? Oh, get an eraser. I'm going to clear all of this, and this is going to be 4 times 5, and if I wanted to, I could do it sort of the hard way and count all the circles. It's going to take forever, but here we go. We can add up the circles in each row. No, you can count all the circles. That's what it says first. So here we go. This is probably the slowest way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We were right. We got 20. You can add up the circles in each row. You can say, okay, there's 5. 5 more is 10, 15, and 20. Or you can add up the circles in each column. Doesn't matter which one you add up. Here's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Or the fastest way, you've got to learn your multiplication tables. You can multiply the rows by the columns. 5 times 4 equals 20. So this strategy called arrays, it's just a way to help you visualize the problem. If these circles were scattered all over the page, wow, you wouldn't know what, how many, and oh, I got to count all over it. Oh my. But when we make them into an array, we organize them so that they're easier to keep track of. Let's look at some more. This video is in the email that I sent you. I want you to watch this video it talks about arrays, and it's just sort of a fun way to see it. I ask you in the email to watch it before the lesson, but if you forgot to do that, you can pause this recording and watch it now. Okay, I hope everybody's back. Let's see. I have one of these in my kitchen. It's a cupcake pan. How many rows does it have? One. It's not going to let me write on that. How sad is that? One, oh yeah, it is. 2, 3 rows. So we know the first factor is going to be 3 times how many columns? There's 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. So that's your first step, is to organize the items in columns and rows, equal rows, and then write down how many rows and how many columns. And then you can either count them, or you can skip count them by going 3, 6, 9, 12. Or you can multiply 3 times 4 equals, I'm going to wait a second. Let's see if you guys can get it before I tell you. Count them, add up the columns, add up the rows, or do the multiplication. If you said 12, you are absolutely correct. Good job. An array helps us see how things organize a multiplication problem, so you can visualize how it's multiplied. Did you know that there are arrays all around you? Just like I said, I have a cupcake pan in my kitchen, just like that one. Guess what? I have a carton of eggs in my kitchen, just like this one. If you look at a carton of eggs, it's divided into, if you have a dozen of them, it's divided into 2 rows with how many in each row? You guys count. I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to see if you can figure it out. Correct. There are 6 in each row. Now that we have it organized, we can either count by 2s, or if you just know 2 times 6, or you can count the eggs now that they're organized. I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Can you figure it out before I do? Two times 6 is 12. Good job. What else could be in our house that would have an array? Every picture I've got here would be something that you might have in your house or on your street. Here is a building, and it's got windows. It's got 1, 2, 3 rows of windows times how many are in each row? There's 1, 2 in each row. If we multiply the rows and the columns, we can come up with the product of how many windows there are. 30 seconds. Can you do it? Yes, there are 6 windows. Amazing job. Oh, anybody have a laundry basket like this in your house? It's got these little holes in it so clothes don't stink so bad. How many holes does this one have? Let's count. How many in each row? 1, 2, 3, and 4 in each row. How many in each column? 1, and you always count this first one twice because it's in a row and a column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So can you tell me what our multiplication is going to be? Equation is going to be? What's going to be the factors? You're correct. 4 times 5. And there's several ways you could figure this out. You could count up the rows and count up the columns and add them together. You could count all of the little holes, or if you happen to know your fives, you can just think 4 times 5. 5, 30 seconds. My bell will ring in 30 seconds. Did you come up with 20? Great job! Boy, it doesn't take long to teach you guys something. Uh-oh. There's no array here. I think Mrs. Lansford is expecting you to draw your own array. I'm going to give you 1 minute to get a piece of paper and a pencil or a whiteboard and a marker. No, I'm not. I'm going to give you 45 seconds. You should have them right there. Hello, you're at school. Okay, 45 seconds. Watching my clock. When you find them, you can go ahead and start drawing your array of 7 rows and 6 columns if you'd like. You have 5 more seconds to get something to write with. And here we go. I'm going to draw 7 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You could draw rows of hearts or something if you want. I just can't draw anything but squares in this thing. And we're going to draw 7 columns. There's 1 already there. 2. Let me draw the 7 in this column. 3. We're going to draw 6 columns. 4, I think I said 7, sorry. There's 4 columns. Here come 5 columns. And 6 columns. I'm going to give you a minute to finish. And you should have your own array. When we get into ELA, I would love it if you showed me your arrays, or tomorrow in math. I would love it if you showed me the arrays that you just made for 7 rows and 6 columns. Excellent job, guys. Oh, another one. I am going to try to draw something here. How many rows am I going to need? 4. And how many columns? 9. Now wait, before you start drawing, I want to show you something. This is why we make arrays. I'm going to draw hearts, I think. Let me clear. Let me erase all of this, just a minute. I think that today I will draw hearts. I'm going to have to draw a lot of hearts, but okay, so if I had hearts scattered all over this page, oh my goodness, it would, and somebody said, okay, Miss Lansford, you need to count all those hearts. How many hearts you got there, Miss Lansford? That would be really a hard question because they're not organized or anything, and I can't, I could count them, but I'd probably get lost, and oh my, I'd get lost and then I'd lose count, and then I'd have to start all over. What a mess that would be. That is why, let me see, I don't have enough yet. They would be scattered all over this screen, and I could never count all of them. Oh my gosh. Well, I could, but it would take forever. So what Mrs. Lansford has learned to do is organize them into an array. This would be, pretend that you're working for a man that owns a candy factory, and he's making candy hearts. And he says, we need 32 candy hearts in each box. And the candy hearts are just scattered all over a table. And you're supposed to put 32 in each box. Well, how are you going to know when you get to 32? You make an array just like this. Just a minute. I'll bet you've already started. I want for you to show me an array. It doesn't have to be hearts. You can draw, I don't know, happy faces. Oh, I think I might draw happy faces. You can draw happy faces or just plain squares or triangles or circles, whatever you want to draw in an array with 4 in each column or 4 in each row and 9 in each column. Let's see if you can do it before I do. Here are my rows. Oh, and these are going to be easier to count. Here's 4 in each row. Okay, here we go. Are you getting it done? I bet you're faster than I am. And now we got 4 in each row, and then we want 9 in each column. There's 1 already there. 2. Are you drawing an array? Oh, that's a terrible heart, Mrs. Lansford. Uh-huh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, these would be a lot easier to count if they were organized like this in rows and columns. That's why we use arrays. And you use it every day in the real world. And you see them every day in the real world. Now I'm going to draw 2 hearts in each column just because I want to. There we go. Now, if you were to finish drawing this array, and then there are 3 ways you could figure out how many hearts are here so you could make sure there were 32 hearts in each box. You could count them because now they're going to be easier to count because they're organized. Or you could count each row and add them up. So you could go 4 plus 4 plus 4. This is repeated addition. That's all multiplication is repeated addition. Plus 4, plus 4, plus 4, and that's going to equal, or that's going to equal 32. Or you could count each column. 9, 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9. So you could just add up each row or each column. You're going to come up with the same answer. There's 9 plus 9 is 18, plus 9 more is 27, plus 9 more is, here, I'm going to put the line down here, 32. So that you could add up all the rows or add up all the columns. You could count them, but that's going to take you forever. You could add up all the rows or add up all the columns, or you could write, if you know your multiplication tables, 4 times 9 equals 32. So that gives you 4 ways to figure it out. Now that they're organized, you can count them all, or you can add up the rows, or you can add up the columns, or you can multiply it. This shows us that all multiplication is just repeated addition, because you can add up the rows or add up the columns. Notice, if you add up the rows, the 4 times 4, you're going to get 32. If you add up the columns, you're going to get the same number. What? The answer is 32, however you look at it. There are 32 hearts there. Now, I'm not going to help you this time. I want for you to draw an array of 5 times 8. And I'm going to give you, maybe 2 minutes. We're going to draw 5 times 8. And I'm just going to draw dots this time because Miss Lansford's lazy. We're going to draw 5 times 8, and then we're going to figure out how many that is. The first number is always the rows. Okay, now we can add up the rows. So we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait a minute. Oops. Mrs. Lansford made an extra row. Well, that's easy to fix. That's why God created erasers, isn't it? Okay, here we go. We can add up the rows. So we'll have, there's 5 in this row, plus 5 in this row. Whoa. Plus 5 in this row, 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 plus 5 in this row. So you can do 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, you can do 5 plus 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 5. And you're going to end up with 40. Or you can count the columns. There's 8 plus 8 Oh, I hate making 8s with this thing. There's an 8 plus 8 plus 8, and you will come up with, you add all those 8s together, you'll have 40. Or you can just figure out 5 times 8, and that equals 40. So you can count all 40 of them, you can add up the rows, or you can add up the columns. This is called an array. It's time for announcements. Fun Friday! Fridays at 2:30. I haven't had very many kids showing up. You guys are missing out on the fun. This week we're going to take a virtual field trip. There was only one child there last time. So Dominic, if you want to come this time, you're going to see the same. You're going to go to SeaWorld again. This week we're going to take a virtual field trip. We're going to play Jeopardy with Garfield. We're going to have a fitness fun run and a true life inspirational story. Dominic, don't tell anybody who it is. It's going to be a surprise. And I have some good news. In October, you get fall break from October the 12th to October the 17th. So watch this. Here we are right here. This is today. You're going to go to school this week, and then you get the weekend off. 2 days next week, Monday and Tuesday, and then you don't have to come to school for 6 days. What? It's called fall break. Now the teachers have to come to school and they have to go to those boring meetings, but that's okay. You guys get a break. For 6 days, you go to school this week and 2 days next week, and you're done for 6 days. Yeah. If I was as a kid, I would be raising the roof. All right, it's time for the TEA Texas Assessment, TBAR. I put this link in the email that I'm going to send you. I'm going to put this link in the email I'm going to send you. You have to take the test. There are, count them, 2 questions, and they are both about arrays. You should be able to do pretty well on both of the array questions. Wait a minute. One of them is about multiplying by 10, and one of them is about arrays. You should be able to do pretty well on those 2 questions because you've learned how to do both of those things. So you're going to take that test as soon as you get out of this, as soon as I say goodbye to you. you're going to go take that test. The link is in the email that I've sent you. If you haven't checked your email, I'd be doing it right now. Check your email. Watch the video if you want to first, and then take the test, and I will see you in ELA after you take that test. Let's take a brain break. You're going to need it. I'll see you guys in ELA if you're in my class. Bye.